Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of GM Fantasy. I'm Paul, and in today's video, we're going to go over 5 players that I think it's about time we trade away. So let's check it out. Alright guys, we're about 7 weeks into the season now, and I'm going to go over 5 players that I think have hit their ceiling and are about time to trade away. Now, these players aren't necessarily bad by any means, but I do think that their value will take a bit of a hit going forward. So I think now is the perfect time to trade them away. So the first player we're going to talk about is going to be Rico Dowdle. Now, this guy has been on absolute fire the last couple of weeks. You know, I fell victim to him last week. He put a monster performance against me, and I ended up taking a huge L. But, you know, it is what it is. But I don't think this is going to be happening going forward. Chuba Hubbard's going to be coming back soon, and he's definitely going to be taking a bunch of targets away, a bunch of opportunities away from Rico Dowdle. You know, the Panthers gave Hubbard a big contract, so he's definitely going to be part of their plan. And that being said, Dowdle's production is going to go down. If you are able to find someone who will take Dowdle right now based off the last couple of weeks, I would highly suggest doing it. Sell him at a ceiling, and I would even consider doing a lateral move at this point. His value is going to start going down, so if you can get someone at the same caliber but with a more steady situation, I would be looking to make that move. Now, I did see the report saying that, they're going to give Dowdle more touches and whatnot even when Hubbard gets back. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Like, I think at best it'll be a committee thing at best, maybe a 60-40 at most, but probably closer to a 50-50. Don't buy into this smoke and mirrors comments there by the coach. Hubbard's definitely going to have a huge role in this offense when he gets back. Maybe it'll take a week or two to get back up to speed from the injury, but in 3-4 weeks from now, it's going to be at best a 50-50 split. So if you can sell Dowdle for something better, do it. Next on the list we're going to have is something of a similar player. It's going to be DeAndre Swift. Last week he had a monster performance, probably a career day for him, and I don't think that's going to happen again. So if you're able to find another person who's willing to, buy Swift from you, especially since from that last performance, I would look to do that as soon as possible. Kyle Monangai was getting more and more touches as the weeks were ramping up. Now, I know Swift had that monster game last week. It's a one-off. I don't think it's happening again. Ben Johnson traded away, or maybe not traded away, but didn't try to retain him when he was in Detroit. And I don't think he's going to be part of the team next year. So I don't think his value is going to be much higher than it is right now. So if you're able to trade away DeAndre Swift, I would look to do so immediately and get as much as you can for him. All right, next on the list, we're going to have Puka Nacua. Now, this one pains me to put on the list, but he's one of my favorite players. But the guy just gets injured way too often. I don't want to put injury prone on him, but he's borderline injury prone. Every year he seems to miss 3-4 games, and you guys know that the best ability is availability, and if he's just not available for you, then is he really helping you? I know he's probably the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver so far in the year, especially in points per game. I think he's at 22, 23 points, something like that. His value, he's not a bad player by any means. He's a great player. But if he's not going to be available for you, I would look to maybe trade him away for someone who will be there. If you're able to pull off a Puka for Jamar Chase, which I'm seeing there's a lot of that out there right now, do that. Because Jamar Chase doesn't get injured, and Puka just seems to be on the injury list, if not something hampering him for the entire year. If you're able to get even maybe a 2-for-1 deal, slightly downgrade at wide receiver and get a nice running back also in the mix, then that's also a deal I would be looking to make. And I would do that sooner than later before he gets another big injury and he's out for the year. Next on the list, we're going to have Stefon Diggs. Now, he's had an up and down year so far. First few weeks weren't too big. Then he exploded for a couple of huge weeks. And then last week he calmed down a little bit. But the perception of him is he's still a highly valued fantasy asset. And I would take advantage of that as soon as possible before it gets any lower. I don't see Diggs having this amazing top 10 fantasy wide receiver year. I think he'll be closer to wide receiver 20, 24 when it's all said and done. Now, don't get me wrong, he'll probably still have a few big weeks here and there. He is Drake May's number 1 target. When it comes to the Patriots, they're more of a running team. They're going to have big weeks for their wide receivers, but it's Mike Vrabel likes to run the rock, and I just don't see Diggs's value getting any higher. And now that he's older and still coming off an injury, I think now's the time to unload him and get anything you can get for him. If you can do a lateral move, I would do that. If you can improve and get more value, I do that as well. But look to trade him. I think it'd be a wise thing to do. And then last on the list is going to be George Pickens. Now, Pickens is having a phenomenal year. I've got him on a couple of my teams, and it pains me to try to trade him away. But CeeDee Lamb's coming back, and he's going to be eating into his targets. Like, I know Pickens right now, I think he's third most in receiving yards, fourth in yards per game, tied first for touchdowns, and he's having a ridiculous year. But when Lamb comes back, Lamb's going to eat into it, and he'll come back down to a wide receiver 2 or like a low-end wide receiver 1. So if you're able to trade him for, like a haul, like a nice package, then I would definitely look to do so. He's not going to fall off. He'll still have big games here and there, but the value that he has now will not remain the same. And if you're able to get something for him, I would definitely try to do it. If you're competing and he's one of your best wide receivers, I can understand you wanting to keep him, but just expect a little bit of not a huge downfall, but a little bit of a downfall, because Lamb is still the number 1, and he's definitely going to eat into the opportunities that Pickens been getting. So those are my 5 guys. If you guys have any other players that you think are in the same boat, that are, their value right now is at their ceiling and they're going to start taking a dip, put it in the comment section. I'm curious to see which players you've got in that category. And if you guys think, no, you're crazy, you can't trade any of these players that I just mentioned, put that in the comment section too. I want to know why I'm crazy. The more you know, the better. So, and I could easily be wrong about this. Like, I don't have a crystal ball. And then everything will be clear by the end of the season. But hindsight is 2020, and as of right now, I see these guys taking a huge dip when it comes to future production. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And don't forget, we still got that contest on the channel. I'm going to say this every video. I really want to get another league started, and I want to, sponsor an entire league. Super simple to get in, guys, if you were wondering what it is. It's a free $50 entry into the next subscriber league on League Tycoon. It's a contract league. All you got to do to enter is to subscribe to the channel, like the video, put the word subscribed in the comment section, and send me a screenshot either to my X account or my email address. It'll be in the description below. I will get back to you letting you know you're in the contest, and we'll have a draw on August 1st to determine the lucky subscriber to get into the league. And if we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll sponsor an entire league. So we'll get 9 subscribers plus myself for a 10-man league. And I'll be super stoked to get that going for you guys. So yeah, so don't miss your chance, and get on that, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.